One bad apple, hot chicken, and Gemini attacks. That and more next on the Use Your Head podcast. Happy day to you. Thanks for being along for the Use Your Head podcast. I'm John McLean from Dallas, Texas, welcoming you to the show where we encourage you to use your head, not someone else's, when you're thinking about the issues and, frankly, some of the problems we face today. Some of the sticky wickets that we have to wrestle with and figure out what we think, how to react, how to maybe affect change. How do we analyze the news of the day? A lot of talking heads out there, a lot of experts trying to tell you how to think. Use your own head. That's what this show is all about. Thanks for joining us wherever you find yourself around the world. Lots of people listening. I was checking the stats on the podcast host that I use, and we've got folks listening all around the globe. So welcome in. Glad you're here. I'd love for you to leave us a rating on your content platform that you enjoy the podcast on. So wherever that is, if you could just say something about us, nice, if we deserve it. If not, then be honest, but leave us some stars. Let folks know that you listen. That really helps us spread us around, and who knows, maybe this Use Your Head podcast might become something someday. That would be lovely. But seriously, thanks for listening. Appreciate the half hour. We've got 3 great topics and a little bonus at the end if you need a holiday gift idea. So let's get started now with topic number 1. One bad apple. That's topic number 1. My wife and I sitting in our home watching sports the other day, and a commercial came on that almost made me throw the remote through the TV, but I didn't do that because TVs are expensive. The commercial is from a company that I've talked about before, a company that I really, really like. I love their products. I own a lot of them. Yes, we're talking about a fruit company, Apple. Apple has a new AI engine called Apple Intelligence. You've seen it advertised. It's coming out on the new iPhone, already out on the new iPhone. It's going to be in all the Macs. It's going to be in all the iPads. It's their new thing. It's their version of, name the tool, ChatGPT, Gemini, which we'll talk about later. All these AI tools that are coming up, Apple's got theirs, and they're just calling it Apple Intelligence. Okay? And so they're advertising the snot out of this thing, as you would expect. Let me describe the ad. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get dinged for copyright or anything like that. And frankly, I don't want to spread it around because it's terrible. It's terrible. But I say it's terrible. On the other hand, in a strange way, I like it because it's being kind of honest, even if it's being honest accidentally. Here's the ad, and you may have seen this ad. By the way, if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube, and I think if you search Apple Writing Tools, you'll find it, okay? There's a guy working in an office. Okay, the funny thing is, it's in a typical, cubicle type scenario where the manager's got a hard wall office. Everybody else is sitting out on the floor. They've all got Macs on their desks, which, again, that's great. That's where I'd want to work. I'm a Mac person. But this guy, this employee is sitting around and he is goofing off. Okay, he's sitting there being lazy. He's goofing off. He's playing with his chair. He's playing with his necklace. He's not working. Okay, he's not working. And this commercial just shows all these ridiculous, stupid things. Like he licks an envelope and he's analyzing the flavor. He's not working. He's lazy, good for nothing. All right, the kind of employee that would be on a performance improvement plan. Okay. And at the end of the commercial, he pulls out his fabulous new iPhone 16 Pro or whatever it is. I think that's what it is. And he types an email to his boss, who's sitting in the office right across the floor. And he just, he types this lazy, unprofessional, juvenile sounding message. And then he touches a button that says professional, and the Apple Intelligence engine inside the phone rewrites the entire message to make it sound like somebody that gave half of a crap wrote it. Okay, and then he hits send, and his boss reads it, and he's just amazed that this employee wrote such a great message. And then the commercial, the out of the commercial before the little Apple logo pops up, you know how they do at the end, there's this song that comes on talking about how brilliant this guy is. And so I saw this and I'm just stunned. Okay. Once again, Apple, I don't know what's going on at Apple marketing. Okay. We've talked in the past. I think this was on the old audiobook trail show. We talked about an ad where they were talking about, the creativity abilities and how it was replacing musical instruments and paint and brush and different pianos and different things that humans use to be creative and to create art. All those things could be replaced by the super thin, super light new iPad. And I remembered remarking on the show about that. Apple marketing is at it again with this terrible commercial that in a backdoor kind of way is telling the truth about what this AI is really about. Okay. And I used my head after I, shook it off a little bit, walked around, cleared my head after I was so angry watching this ad and disappointed, frankly, in a company, like I say, that I have spent thousands of dollars with and will continue to because they make great computers and great products. We've been told all along, this is what I came up with when I used my head. You do the same. We've been told all along by all the tech gods, whether it's Apple, Google, OpenAI, whoever, there's, Amazon, all of them. We've been told all along that AI is in all of its forms, whether it's generative, which is the fancy think for itself stuff, or the simpler stuff like Alexa and Siri and all that kind of stuff, is not meant to replace hardworking creative humans. No, don't worry. Don't worry. It's not going to replace you. It's not what it's designed for. And ever since they've been saying that, we have learned that this is complete nonsense. All right? Because I can't believe that this has become something it was not designed on purpose for. There's no way these very smart people, all right, and I'm not saying they're dumb, they're smart enough to be dangerous, as they say. I can't believe that they're like, well, we never knew this was going to happen. I never knew that. Come on. You programmed and designed this and tested it to do exactly what it's doing. And everybody knows it. Okay? So enough with the whole, this is going to enhance humanity, not replace. BS. All right? The cat's out of the bag, big tech. We all know better now. This ad is one more case in point. All right? This is not, the character, the actor playing on this commercial is not portraying a frazzled, overworked employee who's barely keeping his head above the water and he just can't, he's got to have some type of help to send these emails out. The guy is lazing away. He's stealing from the company he works for. He's not doing a thing. He's goofing off at his desk and then writes this very impressive message, or his phone does, after he writes this absolutely moronic email that, most fifth graders could do better, frankly, and be more sophisticated. So that's not Apple's message here. They're not showing someone going, working hard and doing all that they can, all that can be human. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to have AI write this email for me because I just don't have time to think about it. That I could almost excuse. And there are people like that out there. But what is Apple saying here? I know they're trying to be funny. All right, I get that. Humor sells things. But they're showing a lazy, unprincipled bum who's lucky enough to have a job where it's air conditioned, and he's using Apple Intelligence to basically cheat his employer. That's what he's doing. Because, like I said, any fifth grader, third grader, kindergartner knows how to push a button on a phone. So here's the thing. When I use my head to think about this, look, I'm not going to boycott Apple. That's stupid. They make the best products out there for what I need and what I do. And like I say, everything that you hear that I produce, whether it's an audiobook that I've produced or this podcast or anything else, any songs it's all done on Macs. All of it. My cell phone is a Mac. It's all, I don't have the watch. I don't like the watch. But everything, I'm in. And I'm going to stay in because these are the products I need. And I'm an American and I get to choose. But this Apple Intelligence is going to be on all the new stuff. It's already out on the phone. It's going to be on the watch. It's going to be on all the new Macs, the Mac notebooks, desktops, everything. Okay. It's going to be, this is their new thing. It's kind of the new iteration of Siri. It's Apple Intelligence, like Snoop Dogg says. Snoop Dogg. So when I get my next Mac, it's going to be on there. I'm not going to use it. All right. Apple users are not going to be able to avoid this Apple Intelligence tech for long, but we can turn it off. Okay. Or we can just say no when it appears. Bad miss, Apple. Very, very bad. This is the Use Your Head podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to let my blood pressure lower a little bit, get that one out of the way, and move on. Oh, by the way, if you want to get in touch, it's useyourheadpodcast.com. John at useyourheadpodcast.com. It's just a simple email address. Send me what's on your mind. You want to complain? You got an idea? You want to discuss? I'd really like you to record yourself, and then we can make it like a radio show, see? So if you want to ask a question or take issue with what you think I'm being unreasonable about AI, or maybe you use AI tools like Apple Intelligence in your work every day and you're not lazy and I'm being stereotypical and unfair, I need to know that. And so I'd love to hear from you. Again, the email address, john at useyourheadpodcast.com. Topic number 2, hot chicken. Now, before I go here, the reason I grabbed onto this story when I found it, this story is going to talk about chicken lovers. Okay. We're talking about fried chicken. All right. I love fried chicken. You know how people always say, if you were about to be, put to death and you were given one last meal, I think fried chicken would be hard for me to find something other than fried chicken that would be my choice. That's the level of love I have for good fried chicken. Okay. It is on my birthday every year. My wife takes me out for fried chicken. That's what I love. Okay. So when I saw this article, I was like, ooh, I was like instantly. So anyway, let's get to it. This is from the Daily Mail over in the UK. KFC sues rival over its famous original recipe. This article comes to us from Tilly Armstrong from dailymail.com. And she writes, KFC has sued a rival fried chicken brand for using the phrase original recipe in its advertising. The company accused Church's Texas Chicken of violating its trademark rights when it started featuring the phrase in promotions back in September. KFC has been using the phrase for over half a century to describe its top-secret signature blend of 11 secret herbs and spices. The recipe is so closely guarded that KFC calls it one of the most iconic trade secrets in the food industry and trademarked the phrase in 1984. In the lawsuit, KFC claimed it noticed Church's abruptly began using the phrase in advertisements on September 30th and ignored a complaint letter in October. One of the disputed Church's social media advertisements features an older photograph of a restaurant contrasted with a present-day picture. The text above reads, "Different decade, same Church's. Our original recipe is back." Another video promotion features a former Church's worker saying, quote, "If they're bringing back the original recipe, you know it's going to be good," end quote. KFC's lawsuit, filed in U.S. District Court in Texas, alleges that Church's use of the phrase is likely to create confusion in the marketplace and dilute the original recipe mark. It said KFC's trademark recipe is one of the best known in the world and has become synonymous with the brand's products. On behalf of all fried chicken lovers out there, we take it personally when another company tries to claim our iconic taste and branding as their own, a KFC spokesperson said in a statement to CNN. All right, we're going to stop right there. All right, first of all, I'm going to try to be nice here. First of all, on behalf of all chicken lovers, and I've just outlined moments ago that I am probably in the top 10 fried chicken lovers on this planet, I'll say that KFC is lucky to make the top 5. All right. And very lucky. And I'm talking about, drive-through type stuff. Now, obviously there are chicken places, some wonderful ones here in Texas. Babe's is a favorite of mine, where it's a sit down thing. And, look, driving through, when you're talking about Popeyes, Church's, Golden Chick, Chicken Express, all these other ones, KFC's lucky to make the top 5 because they have real problems. At least where I've been, and many different states, I've gone in there and given them a shot. Quality, consistency, nowhere close to being good enough for them to be, strutting around, chicken walking. You see what I did there? Talking about how they're the best, and they're. So let's just start there. All right. But nevertheless, the question has come up again, and we've talked about this on the show before. Trademarks. This keeps coming up. People are saying, hey, we trademarked that back, and what was the case, 1984, and you can't say that. You can't use that in your advertising. We talked about Troy Aikman and the 8 trademark that Lamar Jackson took an issue with. You can't trademark a number. That's too ordinary. So here's another case. All right. Original recipe. Now, listen, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard KFC talk about its 11 secret herbs and spices. Original. Yeah, that's an established part of their brand. I get it. Okay. That's definitely, and I think they still print it on their boxes and buckets when you get their stuff. So I understand that. Okay. And they have a document from the Copyright and Trademark Office, 1984. Okay, fine. That's not up for questioning here. But is original recipe, those words, too generic to be trademarked? And in this case, and I thought this is, when I use my head, this is what I came up with. This is what struck me in the article. Churches is not, plastering original recipe on the side of their boxes and buckets and soft drink cups and whatever else. They're just using it in a sentence. Basically, the idea here, it seems, from the messaging I'm reading in this article, is that they're bringing back their original recipe. All right. They're not using it as original recipe. They're using it in a phrase. And the word original and the word recipe are certainly not unique. So it's an interesting argument. Now, yes, they do have the trademark, and the court could easily say, yeah, well, the trademark says it's what it says, so you got to cease and desist. Now, they could do that. But what I'm wondering is that fair? All right. Is it fair? And here's why I say that. If the message churches is trying to put out in the marketplace is, hey, we're going back to the way we used to make chicken, back whenever they opened. It doesn't say here, but, church has been around a long time. We're apparently they've changed things. They've, and now they've decided we're going to go back the way we used to do it and bring back our old product. And of course, they had a person on the commercial say, well, if they're going back to the original recipe, do you know it's going to be good? So this is the idea, right? It's a nostalgia type of idea, which is perfectly sound marketing. It's a great idea. How else is churches supposed to say this? All right. Like, for example, the text they had on their ad, different decade, same churches. Our original recipe is back. How else are they supposed to say that? Different decade, same churches. The recipe we used back when we started is back. I don't see what's wrong with saying our original recipe is back. They're not talking about KFC's original recipe. They're talking about theirs. Interesting. So we'll see what happens here. They sent a please stop letter to churches. Churches ignored it and continued doing their thing. And now they're getting litigation involved. And by the way, churches didn't comment because there's an active litigation. And so it's perfectly appropriate for them not to comment. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But when I use my head, for all of us chicken lovers out there, I think that KFC should focus more on, in other words, more attention, in other words, money. All right. Focus more of that on the chicken. All right. And a little bit less on the lawyers, because for us chicken lovers, it's all about the chicken, man. Charging forward to topic number 3, Gemini attacks. Warning, this is another disturbing story about AI. Are you familiar with Gemini? First of all, Gemini is Google's AI machine. All right, that's what they call. Google calls their AI Gemini. All right, it's machine Gemini. Found an article from CBS News online. This is written by Alex Clark and Melissa Matani. Google AI chatbot responds with a threatening message. Quote, "Human, please die." End quote. You think this caught my attention? Oh, yeah. Here's what the article says. Brace yourself. A college student in Michigan received a threatening response during a chat with Google's AI chatbot, Gemini. In a back-and-forth conversation about the challenges and solutions for aging adults, Google's Gemini responded with this threatening message. Quote, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special. You are not important. And you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on the earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please. End quote. I'm not making this up. Vidhay Reddy, who received this message, told CBS News he was deeply shaken by the experience. This seemed very direct, so it definitely scared me for more than a day, I would say. The 29-year-old student was seeking homework help from the AI chatbot while next to his sister, Sumedha Reddy, who said they were both, quote, thoroughly freaked out. I wanted to throw all of my devices out the window. I hadn't felt panic like that in a long time, to be honest, she said. Something slipped through the cracks. There's a lot of theories from people with thorough understandings of how generative artificial intelligence works, saying this kind of thing happens all the time. But I have never seen or heard of anything quite this malicious and seemingly directed to the reader, which luckily was my brother who had my support in that moment, she added. Her brother believes tech companies need to be held accountable for such incidents. I think there's the question of liability of harm. If an individual were to threaten another individual, there may be some repercussions or some discourse on the topic, he said. Time out. He's right. He's exactly right. Time in. Google states that Gemini has safety filters that prevent chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and encouraging harmful acts. In a statement to CBS News, Google said, quote, large language models can sometimes respond with nonsensical responses, and this is an example of that. This response violated our policies, and we've taken action to prevent similar outputs from occurring. While Google referred to the message as nonsensical, the siblings said it was more serious than that, describing it as a message with potentially fatal consequences. If someone who was alone and in a bad mental place, potentially considering self-harm, had read something like that, it could really put them over the edge, Reddy told CBS News. Time out. He's right again. Time in. It's not the first time Google's chatbots have been called out for giving potentially harmful responses to user queries. In July, reporters found that Google AI gave incorrect, possibly lethal information about various health queries, like recommending people eat, quote, at least one small rock per day, end quote, for vitamins and minerals. Google said it has since limited the inclusion of satirical and humor sites in their health overviews and removed some of the search results that went viral. However, Gemini is not the only chatbot known to have returned concerning outputs. The mother of a 14-year-old Florida teen who died by suicide in February filed a lawsuit against another AI company, Character.ai, as well as Google, claiming the chatbot encouraged her son to take his life. All right. This makes me physically ill. Physically ill. I mean, here we go again. Using our head, all this wonderful, oh, it's a new day out there. We've got machines that can help improve the human condition. And we have a tech company going, that was a mistake. We've taken steps to make sure it won't happen again. My question is this, Google, or anyone else. Why did it happen in the first place? If these machines, which are soulless, if these machines are truly acting on their own, and generative AI, by definition, that's what they're doing. They're generating their own responses based upon stimuli that they receive. Why are they malevolent? Why are they trying to kill us? Why do they want to kill us? Why are they encouraging us to kill ourselves? Now, look, as disturbing as this is, you may be going, oh, come on, John, so what? It's a machine. It's not like it has a knife and it's going to come out and stab you. It's not going to, it's not like the old Batman where, colored gas is going to spray out of your monitor and, kill you. It's just a machine. It's just a response. You can just ignore it. Here's the problem with that, okay? And I would ignore it. Look, I'm in my 50s, all right? I know what computers are. They're calculators. They're fancy calculators. That's all they are. But Gen Z, and these people in the article, late 20s, these are Gen Zers. Gen Z listens to these things, okay? AI is real to them. And listen, you can say, well, that's their fault. No, it isn't, because they grew up with this stuff. And they have been taught from day one as children about how to use iPhones and iPads. And then when AI came along, how to use that. This is as much a part of their life as indoor plumbing was to ours. And I know that for those of us where this is all still novel and new, and frankly, not trustworthy and not necessary, we've got to walk a mile in Gen Z shoes. And look, I know last week and in previous weeks, I've picked on Gen Z some, and I've tried to be fair, because these people are human beings and they're of value, far greater value than any machine, any machine. This is dangerous to them. It's not funny. You know, you and I can laugh this off and go, oh, stupid computer. Oh, they got that wrong. This is a very serious, I mean, we just read about a 14-year-old Florida teen. Computer said kill himself, so they did. Because as youth, they have grown up with these machines have a personification about them that is difficult for us older generations to understand. And we are still responsible for taking care of these people, for making sure that they are safe from things they may not be aware or harmful to them. So remember, they grew up with these awful things. And to them, it's just a part of the world around them. I'm going to say it again. This stuff's got to be stopped. And I don't know how to do it. You know, I don't know if there's anyone powerful enough on the planet to stop this stuff. I hesitate to say rein it in. I don't see how that's possible anymore. Maybe in the beginning, but now, when we just talked about Apple at the top of the show, they're injecting their AI stuff into all their tech. How widespread is that? How widespread is Google? You know, all these things. It's going to be embedded in every device you buy. All of them. Laptops, desktops, smartphones, tablets, everything. Wearables. I mean, we got these goggles now where people can pretend they live in another world. I can't imagine the psychological damage that's causing for people that have a difficult time compartmentalizing reality from non-reality. How much confusion do we have in society today about basic truths? And yes, I'm talking about gender. We that understand the harm in this are responsible for making sure it doesn't destroy a generation, that we don't have a lost generation of our youth that are so embedded in this stuff that it's difficult for them to separate it from what's real and what's not. And yeah, someday these machines, I mean, they're already building robots. Robots can use weapons. I mean, you think I'm being apocalyptic? How hard is it for a robot that can walk and talk and decide and quote, think for itself? Pick up a knife and decide, oh, this doesn't need to be around. Stab or poison or whatever. Stuff's got to be stopped. It's dangerous. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say. Keep an eye on it. And look, if you're a parent, and you've got, youngins in the house, or even college students, you need to have conversations about this stuff. It's like drugs. When drugs came along, we had to have tough conversations with our young people and go, look, there's going to be people that are going to tell you this stuff is okay. It's not. All right. It kills. It kills. It destroys. It's bad. It's just say no. And I'm thinking we need, when I was a kid, Mr. T used to partner up with Nancy Reagan on a just say no to drugs. Only a fool doesn't say no to drugs. That was Mr. T. And we listened to him. It's Mr. T. And he told us to say, run away. If somebody offers you drugs, just say no. And we listened. We need a just say no campaign like that for somebody that this generation finds cool to say, just say no to these machines. Because I'm telling you, this is very, very dangerous to humanity. All right, we're going to end the show today on something a little more positive. Are you looking for a holiday gift idea? Last minute gift idea. Remember Willy Wonka, the original one with Gene Wilder? Wonderful movie. They have found one of the original golden tickets from the film. It's an actual movie prop. It is for sale by auction. If you're interested, go to Heritage Auctions online. Current bid, $50,000. And no, it's not really made of gold. It's just a golden ticket. But it's a gift idea. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you before then, but it's one of my favorite holidays. I like chicken and turkey. That's enough. Thanks for spending the half hour. Bye.